Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this vid by Hip Hop Content. This is rappers with the same baby mama. This is ghetto. I don't know why rappers like to do this. It's really weird. Like, they'll specifically go after a certain chick just because she was, like, tied to other big rappers. Like, it's giving groupie. I'm not saying all of them on this list are doing it, but it is a very common thing. There's even a term for it in the industry. It's called something brothers. If you know, then you know. But it's very common. Like, a lot of rappers do this deliberately. They're like, oh, that's the chick that was with Future. Oh, let me go and talk to her. Like, it's super weird. Anyway, let's see who these rappers are. Let's watch.
Making it in the rap game
Future
means you have way more options in the dating game. But somehow, rappers still end up with the same baby mama. And today, we're breaking down the biggest and most surprising artists.
Because, yeah, think about it. There are so many women in the world. So many women they come across on a regular basis. They could have so many women. And they specifically choose these same chicks. It's deliberate.
Who had kids with the same woman. Let's get right into it.
Same girl.
Future's one of the biggest rappers in the industry, but he's just as famous for his personal life as he is for his music. He tries to stay low-key when it comes to relationships.
He does.
But it's hard to keep your private life low-key when you have 8 kids with 8 different women.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, Future hooked up with a dancer and model named Joey Chavez and had a son with her named Hendrix.
That was Joy.
Future having another kid wasn't surprising to anyone, but fans were shocked when they found out who Chavez's other baby daddy was.
I used to go to the same gym as her.
Chavez were together in the early 2010s.
She's really short.
They had a baby in 2011. They broke up in 2013, and raising their daughter together wasn't easy at first. Chavez actually had to sue Bow Wow for child support, but luckily, they worked on the situation, and last year, Bow Wow had an interview with Jason Lee and said, "That's my dog for life, and she knows I'll do anything for her. That's my homie." Bow Wow has been tight with Diddy since he was a teenager. He says Puff is the one who taught him how to grow up and have a good relationship with Chavez, even though they're not together. Bow Wow and Chavez managed to work it out, but it's a totally different situation when it comes to Future. By the time Chavez is about to have their son...
That's really interesting that Diddy was the one that told him, like, hey, you need to make this right with her, da-da-da, and gave him advice when she was fucking around with Diddy, allegedly. She was seen on his on his yacht, with her ass out.
Future had already moved on with another woman. Then he made a wild, toxic move when he brought his new girl to Hendrix's baby shower. Last year, the situation started to get messy after Chavez was spotted kissing Diddy on his yacht in Italy. Bow Wow said he wanted to kill his homie at first, but then jumped it up with Diddy on FaceTime and everything was cool. When the paparazzi asked Bow Wow about the situation, he said he wasn't pressed at all and that he wasn't expecting them to get married or anything. Bow Wow turned out to be right about it, and Chavez later said the kiss was a mistake and it didn't go any further than that. What's even more wild about the situation is that Bow Wow also dated...
Wait, she said the kiss was a mistake? She was just with Diddy in Young Miami. No, the fuck I wasn't. Since y'all so damn nosy, here it is. Me and him are friends and have been. I was working on an unreleased project for him, and that's why I was in Italy. In the midst of me being there, we kissed. That's it. Didn't go further than that. Girl, what?
Nah. What's even more wild about the situation is that Bow Wow also dated Future's ex Sierra back in the day. They didn't have any kids together, but obviously, him and Future have similar tastes in women.
Yeah.
Nivea is an R&B artist who blew up in the early 2000s. She earned a Grammy nomination for the track Don't Mess With My Man and also got the attention of Lil Wayne. He told his management he wanted to do a song with her, and now it's just a slick move to get in contact with her. Wayne and Nivea started dating, and she says that he told her to leave the music industry and he would take care of her. But one day he told her that they should move out of their house and into an apartment. Nivea agreed to the move, but later it came out that Wayne just wanted her out of the house so that he could move a woman named Toya Johnson in. Wayne was treating her like a side piece, so Nivea moved on and married The Dream. They had 3 kids together, but their relationship didn't last. And after they divorced in 2007, Nivea got back with Lil Wayne. Nivea stayed with him, even though Wayne had a baby with his ex, Sarah Vivan, in 2008. But in 2009, the situation started getting even messier after Wayne got Nivea and Lauren London pregnant at the same time. Nivea found out Lauren was pregnant on the same day her own pregnancy was confirmed. She was already in a tough spot. And then Nivea's mother died, which made the whole thing even worse. Nivea broke up with Wayne and didn't have many people to support her. But then she ended up getting really tight with Lauren London. Nivea told People magazine it was very crushing, and she and I became very close. I know that sounds weird, but we were 2 people going through something that was along the lines of humiliating. Luckily, Wayne's baby mama's handling the situation without a lot of drama because it could have ended up a lot worse than it did. Erykah Badu is a legend in the game. Her first album dropped in '97 and went triple platinum. And that same year, she had a son with Andre 3000 from Outkast. They split up a couple years later, and 3 Stacks wrote the legendary track Miss Jackson about her and her mother. Even though the relationship didn't last, they stayed friends, and 3 Stacks says Erykah's basically like a sister to him now. Then in 2004, Erykah had a daughter with another rapper named the DOC. Most newer rap fans probably aren't familiar with his music, but the DOC was a huge influence on rap back in the 90s and worked with legends like NWA and helped write some of Dre's lyrics for The Chronic. Erykah also dated Common for a couple years in the early 2000s, but they didn't have any kids together. Then in 2009, she had another daughter with Jay Electronica. Having 3 kids with 3 different rappers could be a recipe for disaster, but Erykah says the situation couldn't be any better. Instead of getting into petty fights and making it harder on the kids, all the parents are tight with each other and hang out at Erykah's house. She calls her family the Hip Hop Incredibles, and if they all linked up for a collab project, it would be crazy. Before she tragically passed away from pneumonia back in 2018, Kim Porter had kids with 2 different dudes in the industry. Back in '91, she was dating a singer and songwriter named Albie Sure, and the 2 of them had a son named Quincy.
Damn, he
then
fine.
in '94, Kim and Diddy started dating. Diddy was serious about the relationship, and he even adopted Kim's son, Quincy. They had their own son together 4 years later, but the relationship wasn't working out, and they split up a year after that. After a few years apart, they decided to give it another shot, and in 2003 they linked back up and had twin daughters in 2006. Diddy and Kim obviously had a lot of love for each other, but they still couldn't make it work and split up for good in 2007. Even though they couldn't work it out, they were still really close friends up until Kim's death. Back in June, Diddy went on Young Miami's podcast, Carisha Please, and talked about the situation. He told her that for the first 3 months after Kim died, he would just walk around crying. At first, he couldn't even think about her without breaking down, but over time, he learned how to live with the pain. Diddy and Miami also confirmed that they had been dating, even though she's almost half his age. But in September, she told XXL that they're both still single. Apparently, they're just trying to keep it casual. But in October, Diddy had an interview with Teyana Taylor and said that he's ready to get swept off his feet. Young Miami probably isn't going to be the one to wipe him up, but at least Diddy is learning how to move on after Kim's tragic death. Russell Simmons isn't a rapper, but he's still a legend in the rap game. He co-founded Def Jam Records with Rick Rubin in '94, and 4 years later, he married a model and businesswoman named Kimora Lee Simmons. They had 2 daughters together, but in 2006, they split up and officially divorced in 2008. Even though she was still technically married to Simmons, Kimora started dating Jimin Hansu in 2007. Hansu is an actor known for roles in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and the 7th Fast and Furious movie. And in 2009, he had a son with Kimora named Kenzo. 3 years later, they announced the relationship was over, and it allegedly all started because Russell Simmons stopped paying for their lifestyle. Reports came out that they were already on the rocks, and at a holiday party at Simmons' place, Kimora hung out with him while Hansu watched all the kids. The split got even worse after Hansu said he was going to take Kenzo with him to live in Africa. Then in 2019, the paparazzi caught up with Hansu on Father's Day, and he revealed he couldn't even remember the last time he was able to see his son. After the video of Hansu talking about the situation came out, reports said Kimora and him were working on an official custody agreement. Luckily, it seems like the situation's gotten better. Last year, Hansu wished Kimora Happy Mother's Day on IG, but apparently, Kimora still takes care of the kids most of the time. Back in October, she told People magazine she doesn't really co-parent with her exes, and that she does almost everything herself. She said, "I do it all. It's not co-parenting. It's a trio. Me, myself, and I."
This is another huge reason why I don't want kids. You can do every single thing by the book. You can scout someone out, date them for some years to get to know them, get married, get a house, decide you're going to have children, and think that you're going to co-parent and raise these kids equally and have equal responsibilities. But life has a very funny way of playing out unlike you thought it was going to play out. And then look, you end up being a single mama and you taking care of these kids by yourself. And he done went on and got remarried and he got his other family over here, or he just on the road doing him single and forgot all about y'all, not showing up, and you doing everything by yourself. I've seen so many single mothers who have this story. Ones that have gotten married, others who haven't. But there are people who do everything by the book and they still end up being single mothers. and then they have to do everything themselves. That is a nightmare to me. I would be fucking miserable. And I'm like, I have to be with this kid by myself all the goddamn time. I'm doing everything, and you just out here living your best life. You traveling the world, fucking everybody, doing whatever you want. And I'm stuck changing fucking diapers by myself. Ew, fucking ill. I can never. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.